Okay, welcome everyone to our little town hall discussion on cyber psychology. Certainly, cyberspace, the mode, the arena of communication nowadays. Francis de Sales, of course, was an innovative communicator. He had social media, no stop. But he did invent pamphleteering. You know the story? And Francis de Sales was a great preacher, and he went into a foreign town to preach, and a law was passed that it was illegal to listen to him. He was that good. So he said, oh, okay, fair enough. Instead of speaking to people, I'll write it down. He wrote it down, and the printing press had just been invented, and printed things. He put them under people's doors. He nailed them on a lamp post. People said, oh, this is good stuff. Let's go listen to him. He's now a patron saint of journalists because of that. So we have a new mode of journalism and communication, and the key is going to be, what does this do to us?
There's a current adage from my generation that if it isn't online, it didn't happen. So what does this say about social media and its integral part of our daily lives? And what does this pressure of having to constantly be doing something actually do to us?
Okay. It's kind of like a turning the tables, isn't it? Because you have like this, here's reality, here's the real world right in front of us, but now we kind of like flip that around. If it's not online, then it doesn't exist. You went to a party, you went to, on a vacation, or you were hanging out with friends at a restaurant. If you don't take a picture of it and put it online, it's like it never really happened. You have to verify it by putting something online to justify that it existed, which is kind of an interesting phenomena, and in part I think it relates to the culture that has evolved in social media, where it's like chronicling your life. Here's my life. And if you just use words to describe it, that's enough. Seeing is believing. You have to see pictures of things from your life. And it's like everybody wants their 15 minutes of fame. Everybody wants to, portray their life. And, sometimes it's interesting, the fact that you had cornflakes for breakfast, no one's going to be, parading up and down the streets about that. So sometimes people get lost in, what are the important events in my life that I want to convey to people, as opposed to what are the more trivial events that aren't that relevant.
Right. And you did say how there's almost like a selfish tendency with social media. I researched that in 2014, the word of the year was selfie. And Samsung says that a third of all the photos posted online are selfies. So that obviously says something about our behaviors as well. It's almost like a performance. How do you feel like Facebook is getting passe, right? Like who uses Facebook anymore? It's like Instagram or Yap or Twitter, but it's almost as if people feel that they have to perform for an audience, and often the performance that people portray is very much swayed by the audience and the audience's reaction. How do you go online and you see you got no likes? That picture or story, whatever it is that you posted, you get this like sinking sort of feeling like, oh, no one cared about that. But then you look at your friend and wow, they got 50 likes for that and I got no likes. It has turned into a competitive sort of game in some ways, like it's a rating system. I wish they had never incorporated the like button, this idea of buttonized relating to other people. You don't talk to people, you rate them, you give them a like, you don't give them a like. I think there are a lot of subtle meanings that go into giving a like you just had a fight with someone and you want to make up with them, well, talk to them in person about making up, you give them a like on something that they posted. So I think there are a lot of very subtle meanings to why people like or don't like something, but the overall fact is that it has turned into a competitive sort of system, a rating system, where people's self-esteem often rides on going to Facebook or going to Instagram and seeing how many likes they got on a particular day or not. Right. So, like you said, we pretty much converse via likes, like the like button, and status updates, and nobody really knows how to interact anymore. Nobody nobody really knows how to hold a conversation or communicate face-to-face. I know that was one of the things in your PowerPoint about face-to-face communication versus online communication. Could you expand on that?
Yeah. How many of you find that to be true? I mean, my students often are saying things like, we don't know how to talk in person anymore. We don't know how to carry on a conversation. My generation is a little bit different. My generation, we didn't have the internet for quite a while when it came along, so we remember the days of, sitting around the dinner table and talking like everybody like this on their phones. So is that true? I mean, you find that if you're hanging out with friends in your room, you're having dinner, are you talking to each other? Or is everybody looking at their phones?
Or you're having a conversation with someone and they stop mid-conversation to look
Right.
at their phone.
Right. Yeah, it definitely does take people out of the here and now, rather than being with people and focusing on people and really interacting and noticing their body language. People are constantly like, if you're saying something that's boring me, well, I'm just going to go to my phone. Sherry Turkle talks about this sort of thing a lot in the book Alone Together, how we've lost the talent and the art of just being with other people and dealing with the awkward moments and not knowing what to say and stumbling through conversations and noticing body language. People often